All right, shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glorification to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Malak, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai is the name of his beloved Son, who the world called Jesus Christ, whom is the Savior of the nation of Israel. It's Brother Malachi out of the WFI camp, coming at you with another cold cut. And this cold cut is entitled, "The Triumphing of the Wicked is Short." So as we see the things that's taking place in the world, one of the main topics and main events that's taking place right now is the fact that the Georgia Guidestones was blew up. And that lets us know through the spirit and through spiritual discernment that the so-called white man rulership is coming to an end. His days of ruling the people in anger, oppressing the nations, enslaving the Israelites, keeping us low, doing all manner of heinous, wicked, and abominable things to the chosen people of the Most High, those days are coming to an end. His destruction draweth nigh. Let's get Job. Matter of fact, let's start at Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12. Let's get right into it, right? So we got the Georgia Guidestones poured up, and this is the secret counsel of the so-called white man. And we're going to read it. We're going to get into it. We also going to play the video, right? Because this happening right here is not coincidental, right? Everything is spiritual. You have to look at things in a spiritual eye. You can't just perceive things on a carnal, physical level. Or they blew up the Georgia Guidestones. That's a vandalization, or whatever the word is for it. You know, destruction of property. Whoever did that got to go to jail. No, you have to look at things more spiritual. The so-called white man rulership is coming to an end. He's going to be enslaved. When you read Psalm chapter 149, he's going to have that chain around his neck. We're going to be tap dancing in the blood of the wicked, as it states in Psalm chapter 58 and verse 10. Right? Shalom, shalom, King. Right? So we got the brother Qadam Malak. Shalom, King.
Shalom, shalom.
Can you see the screen, King? Screen share?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, you know you're recording, right?
Yeah. Yep. All praise to the Most High. Right. So we got the brother Qadam Malak here, man. And again, we going into the Georgia Guidestones, the so-called white man coming to it, and his crafty counsel, his rulership, everything is being overthrown on the earth, man. And the Israelites are rising back up in power. This is why we say Kwam Yasha'Allah, which means rise Israel in the Hebrew. We don't just say that because it sounds nice. We don't just say that because it's kind of catchy. You know, we say Kwam Yasha'Allah, and, you know, everybody is just, they just like it. No, man, we say that because we understand the power that the Lord is putting back on the nation of Israel. You understand? Don't the scripture say in Revelation, the 6th chapter, hurt not the oil and the wine? So the Lord didn't take away the complete understanding and the knowledge from the Israelites. This is why we're able to perceive that we're Israel. We're able to know and understand that, okay, this makes sense. Deuteronomy 28:68 bears witness with us. This happened to us throughout history. All right. Matter of fact, let me bring that out real quick. So pretty much, King, we just going into the destruction of the so-called white man, his crafty counsel being overthrown on the earth. Right. So this is Revelation chapter 6 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 5. When he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I behold, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Right. So black represents death and destruction. So this black horse represents the Israelites being in slavery. And those pair of balances represent slavery chains. We was the only people that was enslaved for over a period of 400 years, being oppressed, never to see our homeland again, having our wives raped in front of us, having our daughters literally bereaved and snatched away from us, never to see our daughters and sons again. These things happen to our nation of people. Right, reading on. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. Right, wheat and barley are all things that make bread. Reading on. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, and the oil and the wine, the oil and the wine represents the wisdom and knowledge. Let's get a precept on that. So the Lord didn't hurt the oil and the wine. He still kept that knowledge upon the nation of Israel. Right? Let's get Psalms chapter 104 and verse 15. It say, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. So the scriptures say oil makes a man's face to shine. But let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 1. So we have to go precept upon precept. We're not like your Christian pastors that just read you one verse and close the Bible. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. Right. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 1. Who is as the wise man? Who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. So the scriptures say a man's wisdom is going to cause that man's face to shine. And we just read to you in Psalms 104:15, oil makes your face to shine. So oil and wisdom is synonymous with each other. Let's also get 1 John chapter 2 and verse 20. Right? You could throw a precept up in there when you want to, King. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. So that word unction means an anointing. Right? So we are the anointed of the Lord. And we know all things pertaining unto the scriptures, things that we ought to know. You understand? And we know and understand that the white man is coming to an end. Right? His days of ruling with rigor, raping our people, right? Aborting our children, molesting our children, kidnapping our children, doing all manner of folly, man, doing all manner of wickedness. Those days are coming to an end. And this is why we say the white man is the devil. You think we say the white man is the devil just because we like saying it? Of course we like saying it, but look, guess what, man? It's the truth, man. This is what he done to our people. We have no sympathy, no remorse when it comes to Esau, the so-called white man. You got a precept, brother?
Nah, sure do.
Let me bring this out. This Isaiah chapter 27 and verse 11. It say, when the boughs thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The women come and set them on fire, for it is a people of no understanding. So Esau is a people of no understanding, man. Right? When you try to check out and get into the mind of the so-called white man, you'll bug yourself out. Right? I remember I was watching one social experiment, and it was a guy, he was kind of walking around asking Edomites, look, what would you say to me if I said I was a 7-year-old girl? And a lot of Edomites was like, well, if you feel like you're a 7-year-old girl in your heart, then, so be it. Right? So these Edomites are bugged out, man. Right? So it's a people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will shew them no favor. So the Lord is not going to have mercy, favor, or compassion to the so-called white man, and also the nations outside of Israel. Because you got Moab, right? There's hella videos out there where Moab is creating fake fish, fake watermelon. What else they got, brother? Fake rice.
Fake sons.
Fake land. Fake people.
They got robots that can what's the word? They can procreate now. They made little robots, nanobots that can procreate now.
You see that?
So this is devil. It's playing upon tables.
That's right. So this is a people of no understanding. So let's go back to Job. Let's go to Job. Matter of fact, I was at Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12. Right, so you got the Georgia Guidestones that blew up, man. You got the Georgia Guidestones that blew the hell up. Right, I remember when I first came into this truth, this whole Georgia Guidestones was big, man. They was trying to keep it secretive. They didn't want a lot of people to know about it, but the Lord had it come out. The Lord had it be made manifest and exposed and shine through the darkness. right? Because you can't hide nothing from the Lord. The scriptures say, woe unto you that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, whose works are in darkness, and they say, who seeth me? Matter of fact, let me bring that out. I believe that's Isaiah, the 5th chapter. Right? Let's get Isaiah chapter 5 and verse, I just started at 21. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And that's the so-called white man. He's wise in his own eyes. His knowledge that he got from the spiritual demon Satan on the left-hand side has polluted him. He think he knows everything. He think he has life figured out. He think he has the Israelites figured out. He has the Lord figured out. He really believes in his spirit that he has the Most High figured out, man. Right? He's creating fake clouds, fake seeds. Right? That fruit that you eating, you think that's a real fruit. No, those are a fake fruit and fake seeds, man. But you've been deceived by the so-called white man. Right? And then it reads, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink. And that wine is that wine from the so-called white man, that wine of Babylon. That wine, when you drink it, right, you take a shot of that wine, you get to stumbling. You might stumble into adultery. You might run into Islam. You might damn fall into homosexuality, man, if you take that wine of Babylon. Read on. Which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. And that's all the so-called white man wants to do. He wants to take away the innocency of the Israelites. He wants to pollute us, right? Because ultimately, we the righteous people on the earth. So that's what the nations seek to do. They seek to pollute Israel, right? They wanted to do, they did that to Adam, right? In the garden, man. They seen that he was the top man on the earth. He had riches, he had wealth, he had the law, statutes, and commandments, and they envied him when you read Ezekiel, the 31st chapter. So they sought out to pollute him, so they had to go through his woman, right? And they hired the serpent, who was the chief wicked man on the left-hand side during the time. And that serpent beguiled Eve, and Eve gave of that fruit and that philosophy to her husband. He ate it, and guess what? Adam was polluted from that day forth. So that's what the nations seek to do to Israel. They want to pollute us. They want to keep us at a lower state so they can continue their rulership on the earth. Let's get Judah chapter 5, verse 17.
All right.
You can bring it out, King.
We got a couple of precepts. We're going to Esau, right?
Let me bring this out first. Let me bring this out. Salaki. Real quick. Matter of fact, we always bring out Judah 5:17. Let me get another one. Let me get Judah chapter 11 and verse 10. He say, therefore, O Lord and governor, reject not his word, but lay it up in thine heart. For it is true, for our nation shall not be punished, neither can the sword prevail against them, except they sin against their God. So literally, our nation of people cannot be punished. The sword cannot prevail against us. We cannot go in slavery. We cannot be damn castrated, hung, lynched, buck broke, except we sin against the Lord our God. So that goes to show you, whenever we are in the right favor with the Most High, keeping these commandments, abiding by the dietary law, keeping the moral, the civil laws, loving our brother, not thieving, okay, treating one another as we want to be treated. And guess what? We obtain thrones. We obtain scepters, dominion, rulership over the planet Earth. Right? I'm going to rest on that. You got it, King.
To Esau real quick, right? Right, because he didn't have that Georgia Guidestone, right? And he kind of put it all, the so-called white man, he tries to lead, right? Really the Most High, right? Lead signs through the so-called white man's errors, right? He's prideful, right? He kind of puts the Georgia Guidestone, kind of tell you what the next things he's going to do. Like, he can't be stopped, right? We kind of imagine getting a fight with somebody, now I'm going to throw a hook. And he kind of jam you up. I'm going to throw another hook, right? He kind of talking to you like you just can't, you can't defeat him, man. So that's the so-called white man. He has the same pride. He's triumphing right now. All right, so this is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 5. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, right? And the joy of a hypocrite, but for a moment. Right, because Esau is not going to be able to to have this fellowship, right, with all these other Edomites and reign over the earth for so long. This is a short time, right? It's not going to be no damn seedless watermelon or blue kiwi or damn cran apples, right? That's not going to be in the kingdom, right? He's having fun playing around like he's the Most High, but I can make any fruit I want, right? I'm going to make a kiwi berry. Right? The Lord is not dealing with that, right? Verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, right? Meaning that pride, right? That he's above everybody, right? Verse 7, yet shall he perish forever like his own dung. They that which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased all away as a vision of the night. The eye which like the eye also which shall him shall like I also which saw him shall see him no more. He shall his place any more behold him. Right, because the so-called white man, he's going to be gone. Right, after he gets done getting destroyed, right, in the lake of fire, right, and he's coming into slavery, right, and bondage for a certain dispensation of time, then he's going to go extinct. Right, we're not going to be thinking about the damn pink man in the kingdom. Right, we're going to be too busy looking at the new estate, man. Right, and the reason these all like that is because of this precept right here. This is book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 11. His bones are full of the sin of his youth. Right, because Esau can't help but to be wicked. Right, he's the same man, right, that was chasing his brother. Man, he's the same man that say, "I'm gonna kill Jacob, his own brother." He's wicked, man. He's the same spirit. All the way go back to Cain. Right, and with that,
quick precept on that. This is John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil. Now, mind you, this is Yahushua speaking to two-thirds of our people, right? But they do the works of the so-called white man. They do the works of the devil, right? You try to talk to some of our people and give them the knowledge of the Lord, they say, I don't want to hear that ish, right? I literally told a brother, I was fishing for a brother. I said, brother, come hear the word. He did just like this. Like I was a damn fly, man. Like the word of the Lord was some damn net flying around, right? He swatted it. He said, I don't want to hear it. And he kept moving, man. So they do the works of the so-called white man, right? At 4th of July, they was out there throwing fireworks. You know, one Jake damn threw a firework under my truck, man. You know, I'm driving through the damn neighborhood trying to get home. Jake do a damn firework, man. Right? So Jake do the works of the devil. So say, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, but he is a liar and the father of it. But this also can apply to the so-called white man. He is of his father the devil. He's of Esau, right? And on a deeper spiritual level, he's of Cain, man. Right? And Cain was the first known murderer in the scriptures, man. He killed his own brother. Now, how wicked can you be to slay your own flesh and blood, man? You know, that's off. I remember coming up, I never even wanted to fight my brothers, man. It's just a different feeling, man. You don't fight your brother. That's like a rule, man. When you coming up in a household, you don't fight your brother. Y'all might get into it sometimes, but you never really want to fight, put hands, and beat down your brother. So how much more kill him, man? You have to have a wicked, evil spirit dwelling within you. Let me get one more precept. So this is 1 John chapter 3 and verse, start at 10. It say, in this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. That's plain upon table. That's going into the so-called white man, because he don't love his brother, right? Because truthfully, Jacob and Esau are brothers, although we were separated from the womb, but he doesn't love his brother, man, right? He spits in our face. There's literally footage out here, right? Where they may have took it down off YouTube, right? During those civil rights protests and movements, they was spitting in Jake's face, sicking dogs on Jake, calling them niggers, sicking water hose on them, right? So, hey, what the scriptures say, they spit not to spit in our face. You got it, brother.
Just real quick, touching into July 4th, right? Because we're the same people that was in the time. Well, our brethren are the same people in the time of Maccabees, right? Right there, Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth, right? It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days, went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen." Right, so Jake kind of cooling out back then, man. Right, he kind of seeing so-called white man, right, seeing them really strive, right, take over the so-called Persians and Medes, right? They're like, let's go make covenant. Let's go be like the Greeks, right? Jake do that now, man. I want to be a U.S. official, right? I want to be a police officer. Right, you just cooling out for Esau, man, right? And it reads, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well, right? Then certain of the people were so forward therein, right, that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen, right? So they can't wait to go do July 4th, right? Go celebrate them Christmas, right? And all these wicked holidays that the so-called white man's rose up, right? So they just cooling out, trying to make a covenant, so-called white man, doing whatever he do just to be, relevant, for lack of a better term. You got it, brother.
Yeah. This is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. Here's the classic precept, man. Right? Because our people, man, our people that celebrated 4th of July, you sick in the head, man. You're literally sick in the head. Here it is, your brothers and sisters been getting shot down for the I'm not even gonna say for the last 10 years, because it's been going on way longer than that. But I'm gonna say, 10 years, we have had an eye on it. It's been more how do I say it? More camera time on it, right? How do I say it? More of a focal point on our people getting killed, right? But it's been going on for years, man. It's been going on since we got to this land, even before we got to this land, going back to the Romans, going back to the Greeks, right? So we always been killed by the so-called white man, right? But our people that celebrating this 4th of July, turning up, giving into their mirth, their folly, you don't care about the oppression of your people. So this is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21. It say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So though you join hand in hand with the so-called white man, kumbaya, right? We all go along, get along, rainbow coalition. That's not going to stop the wicked, the so-called white man, from him receiving his fate, and that's death and destruction. All right. So let's go to Psalms chapter 37 and verse 35. He said, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Again, that's Esau. And he spreads himself like a green bay tree because he's taking over the world, taking over different parts of the world, polluting different nations, setting up his wicked agendas, fornicating with the different nations of the earth. So he's spreading himself like a green bay tree. Verse 36, yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. All right. Let's also go to Psalms chapter 64. I start at the first verse. It say, hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So we ask the Lord to hide us from the secret counsel of the wicked, right? What's the secret counsel of the wicked, man? Esau, right? The so-called Illuminati, the elites, right? The Rothschilds, the top rich elite banking families that controls the world. Stop thinking that Joe Biden controls the world. He can't even control his damn speech, but you think he controls the world. He can't control his balance, but you think he controls the world. No, those who control the world, you don't see them. You don't see them on the front line, right? They play behind the scenes. These are the same people that's creating these rules and regulations to issue in their so-called New World Order, right? So let's go into this Georgia Guidestones. We're not going to read the whole thing, but One of the so-called rules and regulations that stands out is the first one. It reads, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, right? So they want to maintain human population under 500 million. So they want to kill a lot of people. I believe it's about 7 billion people on the earth, right? So they want to kill hundreds of millions of people. How are they going to do that? By issuing them pestilence, famines, controlled chaos, right? They got something called order out of chaos, man, in which they bring the chaos and they establish the order, right? Like you got the C-19, they pushing out viruses. Then you got the monkeypox. So all these things are planned so they can have control over the masses of the people. And once they have control over you, hey man, they could lead you like a sheep to the slaughter, put you to death, and guess what? Fulfill their agenda. Right? So it say, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right? And their bitter words represents their laws, their legislations. When you read Isaiah, the 10th chapter. Matter of fact, let's bring that out. This is how Esau rules the masses of the people by his laws, by his legislations. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, right? So that grievousness they have prescribed. For example, homosexuality. That's now a law that's pushed out, right? Real quick, it's a guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Now, what does that mean? To guide reproduction wisely. Now they have male birth control pills, man. Oh, you know about that, brother? They got the damn male. Yeah, they got the male birth control pills now, right? And of course, women been having birth control pills that jacking up their body and their genetic makeup, right? But what do they mean by guide reproduction wisely? In other words, turn people into homosexuals, right? They don't want you to reproduce. They don't want you to be fruitful and multiply like the Lord said in the Bible. Matter of fact, let me bring that out. This is why brothers catch hell when they women giving birth at the hospital, man. They try to do everything in their power to get your woman to either get an abortion, right? Get on birth control pills after the fact. Or they try to do everything in their power to sabotage your woman's pregnancy because they are part of the so-called New World Order. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 28. And the Most High blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So the Lord told the people to be fruitful and multiply. What does be fruitful and multiply mean? Meaning have sex, have children, have sex, have more children, have sex, have more children. That's what the Lord is saying in the Bible. The Lord never told two men to come together. Two men coming together can't procreate, man. They can't have children, right? That's literally a vow of affection, as the Bible says. All right?
You got a precept, man.
You got it, King.
Right? Because that go back to the same time, right? During amongst the third, right? Right. This is the book of Exodus, right? Chapter 11. Right, really cheating. Let's go. We're 11 and let's get Exodus 1, verse 2 precepts. Verse 11. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their hard burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses, right? So the Israelites was in hard bondage, building up different cities, right? Building up most of the pyramids, right? But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And it was grieved because the children of Israel. So the so-called white man can't do anything, right? He's the one. I seen a picture of so-called two Edomites, right, and another Greek, right, as a preacher. And he's putting the cover over them in the congregation in church. The men are all sitting down and they're over there freaking off on the pulpit, man, trying to pray over them so they get some type of fertility, man, right? So they can't reproduce like we can because we're just not the same nation. It's playing upon tables, right? Even Ham tried to do so much as this, right? Let's get the book of Exodus, right, chapter 1 and verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwife, of which the name of one that was Shipra and the other was Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then shall she live. All right, so they was trying to do everything to kill off Israel, right? Like, we could have been through a lot of different captivities and we could have been died off, right? No Edomite, no damn East Indian can survive the damn 60s and the 70s and the 80s with crack, heroin, drugs, and all these type of drugs, man. All right, so only we can survive that type of thing, right? Why? All right, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Meaning we can't never die off because of the Lord's promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? He promised him that their seed's going to be as the sands of the sea, right? And as the stars of heaven, right? So the Lord, there's no way Esau can control that, right? He's being prideful again, right? He doesn't know nothing. You got it, brother.
That's right. And quick precept. This is Acts chapter 7 and verse 19. It say the same dealt subtly with our kindred and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live. So again, they was casting our children into the Nile River, right? Consuming our children, killing off the males, right? They were keeping the woman alive and they was killing off the males, right? So that's what it means when they say guide reproduction wisely. So this is crafty counsel. And then they say unite humanity with a living new language, right? And pretty much that's going into, you know, everybody being on one accord in wickedness. I got a precept on that too. First Maccabees. Go first. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Because when did the Lord ever say for everyone to come together and be on one accord and love one another? Right? Where did the Lord tell all nations to just love one another? Am I supposed to love the Moabite? Or is the Moabite supposed to love me, man? No, man. Hey, we not the same people. We're not going to ever get along. And guess what? It is what it is. This is how the Lord set it up. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. It say, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So this is what King Antiochus wrote. Now, mind you, this was a wicked man, right? Antiochus Epiphanes IV, a wicked, dirty, vile, God-forsaken, nasty, damn homosexual, pedophile devil, man. King Antiochus IV. And then they say, he wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king, right? So the point I'm making is that goes to show you that that's a wicked spirit to have. For you to want all nations to come together, that's evil, right? Let me get another precept. Let me get Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. This is what the Lord said about that. This is Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So why would I choose to come together with all people if the Lord just told me to envy not my oppressor? And I see that Antiochus Epiphanes IV wanted all people to come together in First Maccabees, the first chapter. So I got to learn through the scriptures, man. As it states in Romans chapter 15, verse 4, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So I'm not going to envy the oppressor. I'm not going to follow the ways of the so-called white man. You got it, brother.
A couple of precepts, right? Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6, the classic. Right? For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people. But how can you have a special people and have the regular people and kind of mix them together? Right? That's not how it works. You got a special people, right? And you have the nations. You have Israel, right? Then you have Esau and the other nations, right? So it's not, can't come all together and mix one. Because if you're all together, then you're all one people. So what's special out of that? Right? Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 14, right? Doubling back, right? Back onto our fertility, right? It says, thou shalt be blessed above all people, right? So we're above the so-called white man. We're above the so-called East Indian and the Hamite and the Japhites, right? It says, there shall not be male or female barren among you or your cattle. Right? So the Lord kind of blessed us in this thing. Right, and let me get one more precept. Right, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 11 and verse 1. Right, because this is going back, same thing like the so-called white man, like I say. Right, Esau is like a Hamite with all the melanin stripped away. He takes all the big melting pot, take all the wickedness and put it in the pot and kind of enhance it. Right, because he's chiefly being like Nimrod during this time. Right, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 11 and verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech, right? And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and dwelt there, right? And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make a name. Let us make a name. Right, so the last time the world was all in one speech, all together, man, damn Nimrod, man, came over and said, you know what, hey, brother, we're gonna make a tower, brother. We're gonna have a name. It's gonna be the Tower of Babel. Right, that's just the so-called white man. He's gonna do the same thing. Like he's gonna do the same thing, right? Kind of trying to make us all come together, man.
Yep.
Because he's just trying to make us all come. It said, so like, shall two men walk together except they be agreed? Right, so he's really not trying to walk together. Right, he's trying to lead you into destruction, right? Being prideful, man. So that's how you.
This Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. Then we're gonna play this video, man. Then we're gonna play this video of the Georgia Guidestones being blown up by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right? Hey, so don't try to. You got Esau kind of hiding in the dark, in the shadows, right? And the Lord found you out, man. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Right? So the scriptures say the Lord separated the sons of Adam. Plain upon tables, we separated as nations of people. We're not all one. So let's play this video.
Here's a live exclusive Sky 4 look from the site. People who live nearby say they heard a boom this morning. Right now, our Rashad Williams is joining us live from
Hey, you know, a chariot might blow it up, man. You know, a chariot might kind of zapped it a little bit. He didn't want, might have not did too much and want to utterly destroy it. Hey, man, but this the Lord letting you know, look, I see you, Esau. I see what you're doing. I see your works in the dark. And don't think I ain't going to get you back. So check that out. I'm not saying a chariot did this. Don't quote me on it. But it's possible.
Gilbert County, Georgia, with what we know so far. Rashad.
Well, Destiny, right now we know that GBI is assisting with this investigation, but we've got multiple units here on scene, including the GBI's bomb disposal unit. Now, the GBI tells us there is still an active explosive hazard happening here. So to give you a closer look, I want to show you some viewer photos that were sent to us. There's a lot of rubble as a result of what GBI says stems from unknown individuals that detonated an explosive device around 4 a.m., which has destroyed a large portion of this structure. And we do know that Georgia Guidestones has 4 column-like sides to it. And from the photos, Sky 4 video, and from where I'm standing right now, it looks like there are now 3. We've seen several comments from people that live in this area saying they believed it was thunder because it caused their houses to shake. Some describing it as a boom that they heard and felt. around 4 a.m. Again, GBI confirming they believe this happened around 4 a.m. So I want to give you a live look at Sky 4 once again. Over the scene right now, GBI has started to mark this area. And for those that don't know what the Georgia Guidestones are, according to Explore Georgia.
And look, man, they treating it like it's some damn idol, man. Right? They kind of marking it off. They asking people what's going on. They out there with their guns. They treating it like it's an idol. Because truthfully, that's what it is, man. It's an idol. It's a altar on the left-hand side.
Georgia, in part, it's Elberton's most unusual and mysterious set of granite monoliths known as America's Stonehenge, which stands at 19 feet high, and it also serves as an astronomical calendar, as well as containing messages about the conservation of mankind, which is seen for many here in this area as controversial. Now, again, details are limited at this time, but just to reiterate, investigators on scene have told us there is still an active explosive hazard here at the Georgia Guidestones. We will be working throughout the day to bring you the latest updates as we learn more. And right now, you are encouraged, if you have any information, to call Elbert County at their sheriff's office or to contact GBI at. For now, live in Elbert County, Rashad Williams, WIFF 4.
Rashad, thank you. We are